A very, very good evening from India and a lovely morning, afternoon to all the global and pious souls who are watching this show right now. And today we have a very, very amazing guest. That is Jewel Hinton from Florida. She is an entrepreneur. She is a transformational coach. And of course, her yoga posture speaks a lot about social media. And we are going to take this journey on through her essential oils, which is also a part of inclusiveness to whole world. And that's what we are going to talk about. So once again, Joel, welcome to our show for coming and sparing a lovely time. You're going to do that.
Excellent. Thank you for having me on.
All right. So when I was invited you to this talk show, and when I saw about your incredible journey on social media, sometimes I will see you as an entrepreneur, sometimes I will see you as your yoga postures. That's really, really motivates me, not only me, but to the whole world. So we would love to know about your inspirational journey.
All right. Yeah, I've honestly done a little bit about everything in my life, it seems like now. I love to try new things from, like you mentioned, yoga to essential oils to natural health. And actually, I started my professional career, interestingly enough, as a wedding planner. I had a really large wedding planning business in the western half of the United States, and that's what got me into business and entrepreneurship and getting into just helping women do things. And as you mentioned, kind of sharing a life story, I thought maybe the best thing to share would be something later on in my life as an experience that it doesn't matter what age you're at or where you're at in life, you can decide wherever you're at right now to make a difference. So if I fast forward into my life, this was only a few years ago, this was back in 2008, when I decided to stop letting social norms decide what I was going to do in my life. When I stopped letting the shoulds in my life decide what I should be doing. You should get a job. You should work 9 to 5. You should stay home. And all of these are great things if you intentionally decide to do that. And that's where I was at in my life. I had found that I had just fallen into these norms because you naturally just want to get pushed that way by society. However, I decided something different needed to change. And this happened in 2008. I was sitting in the kitchen with my husband. We were making breakfast with each other. We're both entrepreneurs, had different businesses. And very morbidly, I asked him one day, if I were to die, what would you do? And he looked at me funny because that's a weird question to ask your husband as you're sitting there making breakfast for the children.
Okay.
And he looked at me and said, I would pack up the kids in a van and I would drive down to Mexico and to South America and we would tour the world. And he looked at me and said, what would you do? And I said, I would pack up the kids and I would go to Europe and I would travel all over Europe. And we looked at each other in that moment and we realized that we were unintentionally holding each other back of something that we would really want to do because we had fell into the everyday life of what you were supposed to do. Wake up, make breakfast, get the kids to school, do all those little things when we both had the same intention and the same dream, but we weren't doing it. So it was within that conversation that morning that we got to talk and decide. And within 3 months, we had rented out our house, pulled our kids out of school, had someone dog sit our dog. And for 5 months, we did just that. We jumped on a plane, flew down to Brazil with 3 children in tow. And we went to Argentina, Brazil, Colombia. We went over to Europe, to Bosnia, to Portugal. We were still working. We were doing our business. I just moved everything to be online. And my husband was working with me on that at that time. So we were still able to work. But that's when we started to switch the gear in our head of living intentionally, doing what we wanted to do, knowing you only have so many years on this earth. You only have so much time to do stuff. So that's kind of brought us to where we are now and how we live. We try and live as intentional as possible. And with kids, sometimes that looks a little bit different. But that's kind of where we are now and why we even ended up in Florida, because why not?
Like,
You have to live a little, you got to have some fun. So that's kind of what brought us to where we are.
And first of all, Joel, I must appreciate your stamina, because I have seen your all pics, the children you are traveling. That's what I've made me amazed. Wow, she's traveling all the countries with children. That's really, really great. And it's really challenging, which you have taken it. It's really, I must appreciate your vigor, your stamina, your zest, which has motivated you throughout your journey. And I wish you all the best for that. Great. Well, moving to your journey of entrepreneurship, what kind of, first let's talk about your essential oils, which is the, key of attraction for so many people, even in India. When I talked about you, when I saw your profile. So tell me about your company and your essential oils business. We would love to know that.
Definitely. So I work for a multi-billion-dollar health and wellness company, and my job is to just go all over the world looking for international leaders. And it's been really great because, like I said, we love to travel, and so we've taken the kids to do all this. I've gone to Thailand and introduced oils to people, Brazil, we've been in Europe, and now India, and it's been so great. But I wasn't always into this health journey, and it has been something that's completely transformed our life, especially with transferring that into a business. So like I had mentioned before, I used to be a wedding planner in the western half of the United States, and I loved that job. It lit me up. I loved the creativity of it. I loved working with the people. But I found that as a woman entrepreneur, something weird happened. I hit this ceiling where I couldn't go past it any further. I was finding I was working 14-hour days on the weekends, and I was just exhausted. I had children at home. I was missing out on my time with them. I was doing these weddings and found that I couldn't take on any more weddings on a weekend. I had my staff. We physically couldn't do more than 2 weddings on one weekend because we would be stretched too thin. And I found that I couldn't break through this gap of what I could earn. And it really hit me. I will never forget when I had a 6-week-old baby. I just had a baby. I was at a wedding, doing the wedding, making things go, having people come down the aisle. And I would run into the back room where there was a curtain where I had a nanny holding my newborn. I would run to the back, take care of my newborn, and run back out. And that's when it kind of hits you as a mom and an entrepreneur, that there has to be another way, that there has to be a better way to do this. Because as much as I love this, it was running me into the ground. And that's when I was first introduced to essential oils and doing this business with doTERRA, because it's something that when you build this business, there is no cap, there is no ceiling. And it really intrigued me. It made me want to hear more, because I had been doing these weddings. And even though I loved them, I was exhausted. So I started looking into it, and surprisingly enough, it was actually my sister-in-law who introduced it to me as a business, because I had never wanted to look at things like that, because I had already had my business. I was already running, things were already going. But when she told me her husband was leaving his marketing firm to do this with her full time, I knew this was something I needed to look at, that it was something bigger than I knew. So that's what kind of started me down this health journey, learning about essential oils, deciding to do this as a business. And it's completely transformed our life, that now we get the freedom to live wherever we want. This is why we picked up and moved to Florida on a whim. You can probably tell we do things on a whim all the time, because we try to be led by our intuition with everything we do. And we had this feeling that we needed to live in Florida. So within a month, we again rented our house and moved to Florida. And we're now here because we can do this business with essential oils all over the world. So we've just been teaching people online exactly how to create this kind of intentional, well thought out freedom with doing things online where you don't have that cap, where you can spend that time with your family, where you don't have to miss out on things. And I think that's a big part about entrepreneurship. And something that makes me passionate with women is you don't have to give up that family time. You don't have to sacrifice yourself, your mental health, your family's health to be able to still feel like you can chase those dreams and you contribute. You just have to have that healthy balance through it all.
Wow, I just love this answer. Your balancing is the key to success, where you can maintain your professional life and personal life too. And it's really, really a great inspiration for all the people who are watching or who will be watching this video, that how to maintain a happy, healthy relationship between your personal life and professional. Because most of the people get pissed off, taking care of personal, okay, how to manage professional, and it's really a great challenging. But when
Yes.
I saw your pics and of course your professional journey, it's really, really infused a confidence among so many people, and of course in me too, to dart forward in my journey. So thank you so much, Joel, for infusing great confidence among all the women who are struggling between personal and professional life. Thank you so much for this answer. Great one.
I'm glad.
Well, moving to this lovely journey, I would love to know what kind of challenges you faced when you were moving in your entrepreneurship journey, with taking care of the family, and how do you just coped up with all those problems?
I think when it comes to challenges, as any entrepreneur knows, you will hit challenges. There's no such thing as, yeah, have you ever seen that little meme where it shows success is a straight line when in fact it is a squiggly line that is all over the place?
Yes.
That is one thing I've learned as an entrepreneur. It doesn't look beautiful. It's actually quite messy. And there are a lot of setbacks and there are a lot of frustrating times. But something I learned at a really young age from disappointments, things that have happened in my life, is the saying, persistence trumps talent. Something I've learned in my business, and I'm going to be super vulnerable and very honest with everyone. I am not the most talented at sales. I am not the best at doing certain things. I'm not the best marketer online. There are many people better than me doing all these kind of things. But the one thing that has served me every time in my life is that I have a fierce belief that if I work at something and I don't give up and I persist, and I'm a big believer in God makes up the difference where I lack, it always works itself out. It may not be in my timeline. It may not be as quickly as I wanted it to go. And it most often than not never looks like I thought it was going to go. But when I give myself up to that, and I just know in my heart, if I just keep going, it may seem foggy, it may seem dark, but just take the next step, it always comes out on the other end. And that has been my biggest takeaway from all my challenges. Persistence trumps talent. Are you willing to put in the work and do what it takes, even if you don't start to see results at first, even though you know you're walking into the darkness? And that has served me my whole life. It's my favorite saying whenever it comes to business and challenges, just keep moving forward.
Superb. And you are moving forward. Joel, that's really a great thing. And I must appreciate you for all your accomplishments, which you are doing now and you will be doing now in years. So that's great. Well, this is all about your challenges, which you told, and how you have overcome just moving forward. In your life, was there any aha moment came when you said, wow, this was a turning point in my life? Yes, I was waiting for this. So that's, will you just explain or enlighten us?
Yeah, I will. Ooh, an aha moment. I've had so many. I think one of my biggest aha moments, especially when it comes to raising my children, is being first introduced to natural things for my health, because I think it has completely transformed me and my husband's life, where it's now such a priority in our life. But it took something small to do that. And honestly, I'd have to say one of the biggest things that changed my life was just being introduced to a natural way of thinking about things, because it has changed my journey from my business to our life to our health is now a priority. It all started for me when, for one Christmas, my mom gifted us a kit of essential oils for Christmas, and I was truly a skeptic. I opened up that box and thought, thanks, Mom, you shouldn't have. Like, you really shouldn't have given us this. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what this is. And I remember closing that box of essential oils and putting it away in our medicine cabinet. And I never looked at it again until one night, my oldest son, at the time, he was our first child and he was just a few months old. And he woke up in the middle of the night with this barky, Sealy-like cough. And I remember waking up, running into his room, getting him out, and he was struggling for breath. And we were sitting there thinking, what are we going to do? We lived in the western half of the United States. It was kind of in the middle of nowhere in a small town. And we thought, okay, we can drive the time to the hospital if we need to take him there. But what should we do? It's in the middle of the night. And that's when my husband remembered, don't we have that box of essential oils your mom gave us? And it was out of desperation. We opened it up. We pulled out an oil. It was called Breathe. That felt fitting for what was going on at the point. And I think it was a moment of desperation, or inspiration, whatever you would call it, that we took that oil and we put it on his chest and we wrapped him up in his blanket. And we noticed within minutes, his breathing slowed down and he was able to catch his breath again. And we were still pretty nervous about what was happening, and we put him in his bed and he was able to sleep that night. And the next day he woke up again and we put it on him again. And something interesting happened, because nothing happened. Nothing ever progressed from there. And this aha moment went off in my head. This light bulb went off of, number one, what did I just use? Number two, why doesn't everybody know about this? Why? This shouldn't be something that I'm learning out about months into my journey of being a mother. Why does not everyone know that there are things that they could be using at home to be proactive in their health, that we don't have to be, a term we use in the US, sitting ducks, right? You're just sitting there waiting to see if anything else bad happens. And that's really what set me off on this whole journey. And it was just a little bottle of essential oil that made me start looking at everything. It made me start looking at the foods I was eating, how we were taking care of our bodies. It got me into breathing, meditations, yoga. It got me into everything. And it was this small little thing that was my aha moment that honestly, now for the last 9 years of my life, have changed everything, not only physically, but also, as you know, financially. It's changed everything. And it all happened with that little aha moment that I thought was a coincidence. But then those coincidences happened again and again and again that made me realize this isn't a coincidence. And I needed to dig into the science and to learn more. And that's what led me on a journey that completely changed my life.
Wow, this is so inspiring. How one incident that you told me about your son had given you a lot of courage and inspiration to know about these essential oils can do miracle. You know, sometimes, Joel, we wait for doctors to do miracle, but we don't know these miracles are surrounding us in the form of essential oils, herbs, spices. And when we will discover, we will feel like, okay, let's tell these miraculous things to the world. Why only we should be benefited? That's the reflection I can get from you and from your incident. So your incident, it's not a coincidence, but rather motivated you to take this journey on and spread the positivity of essential oils to the whole world. That's really great and amazing. And I must congratulate you. The way you're spreading your happiness, your entrepreneurship, your business to the world, it's really commendable, Joel. Keep it on.
Thank you.
Well, I would request my viewers also to, if you want to change your life, transform your life, and if you are a fan of essential oils, then you must contact Jill. You can find her social handles on social media, and you can leverage the power of essential oils and make your life beautiful. That's great. Well, Joel, this is the lovely journey and so much inspirational and motivational journey. And my next question popping is, I saw you in India and it was really, really great to see you. So what was your, experience and how you have dealt about your business of essential oils over there? And what are your plans?
Ooh, our plans for India. This is extremely exciting for me. India was such a fantastic place, and I am so grateful I got the opportunity to go over there. I think one of the biggest things is I fell in love with the people. They are absolutely fantastic. They are so kind. They're so hospitable. They're so giving. I mean, I've never been to a place where you walk in and people want to see you and take pictures, and they my group I was working with gave us gifts and I gave them gifts, and it lit me up to be able to work there. So what's happening right now in India that's so exciting for our business is that we've just recently opened. It has been years in the making, and I mean years. Our company, when we go into a country, we want to make sure that everything is in line with the government there. And so that's exactly what our company's done. So finally we are open. We have been in business there in India for about 5 months. We ship countrywide, which is fantastic, and everything gets to people with about 5 days. But what they have planned for India is going to be incredible. Right now, doTERRA is projecting for India, the market there, to be even bigger than the market we have in the US and in China with essential oils, because what makes these essential oils so different is that they are such a pure grade that they can be used for your healthcare. They're not just a beautiful smell. They actually can be used for things like head tension, muscle discomfort, emotions, moods, all these things that when people start using them, they feel such a huge difference. So we're currently opening up in India, where we do have founder positions open. And I think that's what's creating so much excitement in doTERRA within India. The first 40 leaders that we start working with in India who reach a certain leadership rank, so they're willing to be a leader in our company in doTERRA, actually split a percent of the company's sales for life. And it's created this huge buzz, and it's made people really excited to get going and starting in India, to share this words about healing through natural health, healing through knowing that you have the power at home in your own fingertips to feel better. And I feel like the last 2 years in this world have really driven that point home to people. Never before have we thought we need to figure something out. We need to start learning how to take care of our own health, because the last 2 years were really weird. They were really scary. We were all kind of, again, sitting ducks. And so it's just this whole movement has really started to explode. And I'm excited to see what comes from India. And that's why right now I'm very dedicated. That is where the majority of my work is taking place. That's where the majority of my trainings and calls and everything happens. So I'm excited for what's in store for India. There's some good things that's going to happen there.
And something going to be very, very great and positive waiting for you. So let's move on with same positivity. And I'm sure you are going to be the rock star in the coming years. That's great. All right. So let's move on to our journey, and would love to know, as you said, about your entrepreneurship journey, your essential oils journey. And Joel, this is really, really motivating for thousands of people who will be watching this video later on. Where will you see, or what is your mission in life from now onwards?
Ooh, my mission in life from now onwards.
Yeah.
Something I feel super passionate about is working with women. That's something that really lights me up. It lights me up for them to help them find their worth. Whether it's, I work a lot with teenage girls and then women in this business, helping them find out their worth, how important they are, how much they can do in this world if they would just recognize the power that they already have within themselves, that's already shining through them. And I love that message. I love helping women find intention. That's one of my favorite words. Me and my husband use it often. You can do anything in life as long as you do it with intention. Do it on purpose. So helping women find that intention in their life to go after their dreams, to go after what they want in life, to go after still having a family and still traveling or still running that business or being at home and being the best stay-at-home mom you can be, whatever you decide it is, to do it with intention and to know that worth that you still have in the world, whether it's in your own family, whether it's global and worldwide, and to just know how important you truly are. That would be my mission going forward, is just making sure every woman knows how important that they are. And it's not that we don't have love for the men. We do. My husband works a lot with the men in our company. My husband usually does those things. He has a very large team in Brazil that he works with.
Okay.
But that's where my soft spot is. My soft spot is helping women be able to see that in themselves.
Great one. I think all women will be so happy and motivated. Yes, there is someone on this earth who can help us, who can motivate us, and that is Joel. So move to Joel, take your doubts, take your confusions into a clearer vision. And I must appreciate Joel for taking out this journey on. Well, coming to our last phase of this global talk show. Well, I never found it's a last, but it's the starting of all the shows, because every ending has a new journey, has a new starting. So before we go off, would love to know your message for your lovely audience.
Message for my audience. The message for my audience is one of my favorite quotes when I first started. Oh, when I first started my journey, it was, "A year from now, you will wish you had started today." And that's my biggest thing for everyone. You may not know exactly what you want to do. You may not know where you want to go in this life, but get started. You may think in your life, "Oh, but I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I'm passionate about." What I like to tell people is, you know your basic beliefs. And I want you to look out at that horizon, at your basic beliefs, and just start walking that way. And you are going to be amazed at the things that are going to come into your life and that you're going to be led to. However, there is a however to it. You have to start today. You can't just sit there and keep waiting for someone to say to you, "Oh, hey, what about this?" If you're waiting for an opportunity to be sat in your lap, you are going to be waiting for a very long time. Because if you don't put forth the action, if you don't start walking towards that horizon, it can't meet you there, and you're not going to find the things you're looking for. So don't wait. A year from now, you will wish you started today. Whatever you decide that you want to do, start today. Don't wait. Don't just let other people make those decisions for you. Make the decision now and start going towards it. That is the message I want to leave with everyone. Just start. Whatever it is, start today.
Wow. And you have given me one great message, because for me also, there are so many pending works and I will think, okay, tomorrow. But now I got the message, start it now. And I'm going to start it now. So thank you so much for this lovely, inspirational and incredible journey with Joel. And this evening from in India, I'm not going to forget in my life, because it is filled with a lot of positive vibes, a lot of motivation, and especially for the women who think that they cannot handle their personal life and professional life together. And here, the setting example is Joel. So thank you so much once again, Joel, for coming to our show. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was really great to be able to chat with you. So have a fantastic evening. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you so much once again.